So David, starting with the Newcastle loss, Liverpool lost 2-1 at Wembley, and it was the complete opposite to the game at Anfield where Liverpool won 2-0. And I wanted to start off by asking you, how did it go so wrong?
Yeah, I just think, I mean, Arne Slot said this after the game, but he said that, Newcastle got the game they wanted, and it was very much played on their terms. And I think, as you say, that contrasted so much to the game at Anfield recently, where that was played on Liverpool's terms. They were allowed to control it, to get into some kind of rhythm with passing the ball, and to dominate possession and starve Newcastle of any chances on the counter, and completely control things in that way. And then what we saw at Wembley was really the complete opposite of that, is that, Liverpool having the ball but looking completely toothless with it, Newcastle looking dangerous every time they went forward, and also turning it into a kind of high energy, kind of intense game where it was all about physical duels all over the pitch. And I think there's one thing you can say about Newcastle, as good as the side they are anyway, they are absolutely brilliant in physical duels. And when the game turns into that all over the pitch, and Liverpool were just second best really from minute 1 to minute 90. And if that's the case, 2-1 makes it sound like it was kind of close, but really in terms of performance level, never felt like Liverpool were really in it. And so, yeah, Newcastle won all those physical battles, or the majority of them, dominated the game on that basis, and absolutely deserved to win. And I thought, brilliant on the pitch, brilliant off it with the support as well. And the two things combined to give them a deserved win in the end, and not one where Liverpool are coming away feeling heartbroken because they did not deserve to win that game.
Yeah, I don't think it's the first time that we've seen Liverpool sort of tested physically, but I don't know if we've been dominated physically to that extent. I think I saw a stat saying that Bruno Guimaraes won more duels than our entire midfield combined. So there were concerns coming into this season about the state of the midfield, and obviously they've done well because it looks like Liverpool are going to win the Premier League. But do you think that, not just based off that performance, but does the performance at Wembley kind of highlight that area still needs to be addressed?
For me, it's just a general lack of physicality throughout the whole team, really, not just the midfield, where obviously Newcastle did very well in there, and a lot of the duels, as you say, that Bruno winning more than Liverpool's entire midfield is not a great look. But I think you look at the body of work this season from the midfield, and it's been very, very good, as you say. I mean, completely dominant in the Premier League, and going to go on and win that. So I don't think it should be a case of kind of ripping it up and starting again or anything like that. But I just think there is that, in all areas of the team, if you could just add a little extra layer of physicality, I think it would be helpful. Because, I think back to the Atalanta game last season, where, again, a team going man for man, turning it into physical duels all over the pitch. Liverpool just couldn't cope with that. And I think if there's one little weakness, and it is a small weakness, I really want to emphasize that, because Liverpool have been fantastic in the main this season. But if there is one weakness, it is that if teams go man to man against you and they are bigger teams physically, then Liverpool can struggle to cope from time to time. And so, not every team can do that, which is why Liverpool have picked up so many points. And it's only, Newcastle are absolutely massive. Atalanta were very, very similar. I think PSG had similar success in certain areas as well. So it's a very specific problem event against very specific teams. But of course, Liverpool will want to solve that. And so I think, whoever they sign this summer, and I think it's going to end up having to be quite a bit of business done. I think physical profile is going to be very, very high up the list in terms of the qualities that they want from these players, just to ensure that this doesn't happen again. And that one weakness is kind of covered off, really, because it was spelled out quite emphatically, really, at Wembley. And as I say, makes you think back to that Atalanta game, and also a slightly different game in that they didn't go man to man, but another game for me earlier this season where you just thought Liverpool could do with a bit more physicality to take out the chaos element of the game, for me, was Everton. And obviously they approached it in a different way. It was all long diagonals into the corners and trying to get the ball in the box. But Liverpool just couldn't control that element of it because they didn't have a big enough team. And when there's that chaos there, you can concede late goals. You can concede two to a side who do not have as much quality as you. So I just think it's going to be something that's looked at this summer and should be looked at. But it's not. We should make it a bigger problem than it is. But it is one small weakness I think we've seen this season.